Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video we want to take a look at Hoopa. I decided to spend quite a lot of XL Alchemy as well to build this Pokemon. Of course today we had the raid day, which I used as well, did all my remote raids, did I think around 18 in-person raids, and I got a 14, 15, 15, which I'm super happy about. And like some might say, oh, how can you build a Pokemon that has not 15 attack? It doesn't really matter too much because who else is going to run Hoopa in the Open Master League? It's no one. So at the end of the day, I don't fear losing CMP ties in the mirror matchup for a Pokemon that basically nobody has anyway. But I wanted to have this Pokemon. And I don't regret it. I literally don't regret building this Pokemon. But also, I have a different idea real quick, which I might even take a look at as well for tomorrow. But anyway, we're going to take a look here at the Hoopa Unbound. This Pokemon has a ton of attack, is a very interesting Pokemon. And going to have now access to Astonish. It is not Stab. The pre-evolution would have had the move as a Stab move because it's a Ghost type as a pre-evolution. Now it's a Dark type Pokemon. But it has great stats with 4500 CP, which is higher, for example, than the Yveltal. And a Pokemon that's definitely very interesting. And so we're going to use it here mainly as a Say Swap. Usually I have my Say Swap a little bit down below. I want to actually to have Yveltal as my Say Swap, and I used Yveltal as my Say Swap for a lot of games earlier on. But then decided that Hoopa just makes way more sense. Hoopa is going to be way more difficult for people to predict because nobody really knows on how this Pokemon works, because nobody ever really encountered this Pokemon before. As, yeah, for a lot of people it was not really worth using the Rex Alchemy for this one. But I felt like today, like I think I spent around like 60 Rex Alchemy. I was definitely feeling that was kind of worth it for myself. My goal is basically, by the way, to have basically every mythical Pokemon that gets up to some solid CP built for the Open Master League. That is my goal. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to achieve it. Depends also on Niantic. If they do more raid days like this, it's going to be happy. But so I'm actually kind of happy that I built this Pokemon. And honestly, it would have some potential for the future. This Pokemon has some signature moves as well, which it doesn't learn so far, but very likely gonna learn it hopefully in the future. That will maybe put this Pokemon even a little bit higher up if it gets a bit better charge moves, because this is the main issue of Hoopa currently. It is the moveset, it's not the Pokemon itself, it's not the stats or anything like this. If Hoopa gets a better moveset, this Pokemon will be absolutely insane. And that's the thing as well, and I could actually see that they will do that in the future, because now they widely released it to basically everyone. We had this Pokemon in research before, we had it in like those elite rates, I think they're called differently, but I forgot the name of them, for one event, and now we had it as a complete raid day. So I would really hope that we're gonna get a buff towards this Pokemon in the future, getting it a new move or whatever, because then I would assume that this Pokemon actually would have a lot of play in the Open Master League. I do think it is a great mythical Pokemon, and I do think, like, also for example, it has a movie around it and stuff like that, so I just really enjoy this Pokemon. I'm really happy that I built this Pokemon now for the Open Master League. It has great CP. It's also cool for, I think, raids if you want to run it there. Like, if you want Confusion, for example, it's one of the top tier raid attackers, I think, for the Psychic type. So yeah, I would really recommend you to build this one if you got the XL Canyon today. Otherwise, just enjoy the showcase today here, because you're gonna see some very cool battles with this Pokemon. It has a ton of pressure with the fast moves, especially as well, running Astonish over Confusion because it just is a better fast move. And I had to change the team a little bit around, by the way. I had played this team before, but I had Xerneas and lead. Xerneas is a cool Pokemon. I like the Xerneas a lot, but in and out as meta, I feel like Xerneas kinda has some problems, because there's a new fairy type in town, which is just so fast and so spammy that it's difficult to run anything other than Zacian, which is going to be the Enamoris here. Enamoris, I sadly still miss quite a lot of XL Alchemy. I tried to do the raids the entire time as well, and I just couldn't really get all of them done yet. But Enamoris is going to be one of the Pokemon that is just a bit too tricky for this team if I don't run Zacian in Elite. Zacian is needed for this one because Zacian is going to be able to win against Enamoris in every shield scenario, which is the main reason why I put this Pokemon in. That's the main reason why we are running Quick Attack. That is the main reason why we are running Wild Charge. Anyway, the opponent's going to be able to knock me out here. We can still go back into our Fairy type Pokemon. We can overfarm by quite a bit, go for a Wild Charge against the opponent, and hopefully we still have a chance here of winning this battle. We have the Wild Charge connecting. It is going to get the shield from them, and I decided to no-shield this one, so my Hoopa is going to be able to get a ton of energy, and I hope that there's a Pokemon in the back that I can deal with. What would be the worst possible Pokemon we could deal with? Most likely Yveltal. Yveltal is a very tricky Pokemon because everything is resisted against any kind of Dark type, to be fair. They're going to reveal it's going to be Necrozma here coming in, which one Dark Pulse is going to take out. And with this, we're going to be able to easily win the battle. I guess they actually showcased the Necrozma before on phase and I played around it. But anyway, we can move on to the next opponent. I think I recently actually encountered someone who was running Return on their Ho-Oh, so maybe they are doing the same here as well. Would be kind of hilarious. But anyway, as you will see here, the opponent is going to now take the charge move up against our Hoopa. Hoopa tries to go for the full farm down, Brave Bird is coming through, and they sub out into the Dialga, and that is actually totally fine for us because we have that neutral damage. And I wanted to check here something real quick, because I am not too sure if Dark Pulse is better than the Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball is generally speaking the better move. Dark Pulse is not a great move. It's I think 80 damage for 50 energy, something like this. Not the best for sure. But I just want to see in the neutral scenario which one is better. Like Shadow Ball needs 5 more energy, and Dark Pulse is actually the better move. And in the neutral scenario, still though, if you want to do the most amount of damage, it would be the Shadow Ball. Dark Pulse has more damage per energy. Shadow Ball is more damage generally speaking. That's kind of what I expected as well from Hoopa, so it does make quite a bit of sense. But as you will see here, you're going to have Tapu Bulu against in the back. That is going to be a bit of a trickier one, but we're going to be able to go for some nice damage here. The opponent going to go ahead and go for Nature's Madness, knock us out. And now it's down to the Yveltal. I have to let the first move go through. I have to hope that Nature's Madness is not going to be enough to knock us out here, which it is not. But I'll also need to try to go for the Oblivion Wing soon, which is not going to work as well here. And so, yeah, Nature's Madness coming through. We're going to try our best to go for another charge move. But again, we need 2 of them anyway because the opponent had another shield and we're going to lose this battle. Hoopa is good because Hoopa is not taking super effective damage from Shadow Claw, but Hoopa is going to be able to even go for some nice damage here against the opponent. And again, I feel like honestly, yeah, like Hoopa has so much potential in the future for sure. Like this Pokemon just needs a move update to be absolutely overpowered, and it has so many moves that it could learn as well. It's not that it's like not having anything there. So for me, for sure, an investment that I definitely don't regret at all. Hoopa has so many signature moves as well that I would assume that Niantic is going to have some, potential things coming up towards the Pokemon as well now where it's kind of released. So for sure, interesting Pokemon. Here we're going to see the Oblivion Ring coming through against the Kyogre. We're going to get the shield. We should still be able to get to another one here. And they swap out into the Necrozma. I was expecting this, but I didn't want them to catch the move. And so what we are going to do here now is we're going to go ahead and go for the shield against the opponent. We got the knockout against the Necrozma, and we still should be able to go for another charge move here to win the battle. And we can then move on to the next opponent. So, let's see who we're going to have next. It's going to be Zacian against a Zacian. That's going to be a nice mirror matchup. Depends on who wins the MP-tie. We have a Hundo. The opponent does also have a Hundo. So we have 2 Hundos against each other. Neither of them is best buddies. So this is going to be hopefully fine. We're going to let the move go through. It's going to be a Wild Charge coming through as well. And we can try to do another Wild Charge against the opponent. This is going to get us the shield. We can try our best to go for another charge move here, but they swap out into the Dialga, which is perfectly fine because we have close combat for them. They use a shield, but I don't think they're going to use another shield here because, that's going to do a ton of damage, but they do not have a shield left, and that is going to be happy because now we can go into the Yveltal. I let the move go through. I counted the moves. It should just be an Iron Head. It is just an Iron Head. And with this, we can still withstand that, and we still should be able to go for an Oblivion Ring against the Zacian, which now means we have 2 Shields Hoopa. 2 Shields Hoopa is absolutely ridiculous because Hoopa takes no damage really from the opponent's fast moves here, and we get some nice farm against them. We very likely have to use a shield here though, but because of the amount of damage that we put out here, unless it is going to be Yveltal, we will be able to win the battle. It is Yveltal. It is basically, by the way, the best moveset that we could have here right now, but I did not trust Hoopa. I wanted to go for Dark Pulse here and see on how much it does, but I decided to swap out, trying to go for the extra charge move here. And it turns out that I think maybe it would have been enough for us to go for double Dark Pulse with the damage output of Hoopa. I just didn't really expect that it would do that much damage. I actually mostly would have been able to still win the battle if I just stayed in there. But this is what it is. Well played by the opponent. Move on to the next opponent. Zygarde complete is going to be fine for us. We're going to see the swap out into the Zacian, and now we can go into our own Hoopa. And here's the thing as well though, because we have the part Dark typing, we have to be a bit mindful. While we can go for the full farm down here, the opponent very likely could go for the play rough, and that's why I decided to use a shield here. They decided to go for a wild charge though, which means they very likely are not running play rough, and we can go for the full farm down. And imagine we had like our signature move, like this would have been so amazing because Hoopa Unbound would learn the move Hyperspace Fury, which would be kind of cool. The other form learns Hyperspace Hole. And I would assume that Hyperspace Fury would be just a very hard hitting dark type move around like 50 energy or something needed, which would be really, really cool. But yeah, this Pokemon itself learns so many other moves as well, which would be great. For example, Psyshock it will learn, which would be perfect for this Pokemon because you have the part Psychic typing, and Psychic itself is just not really good. It learns Psybeam, which is great as well. I think Psybeam is in there, isn't it? I don't know. But we have Zen Headbutt, which I think already learns. We have the Elemental Punches that would be able to learn, which would be really cool for it. It has Gunk Shot, Shadow Ball, which it already learns, Energy Ball, Thunderbolt, all of the different ones. Phantom Force, which is kind of a move that I would like to see in Pokemon Go. I think it's not the move that's currently on Giratina, is it? I think that's a different one. But yeah, a lot of moves that this Pokemon would be able to learn, which would be really, really cool for the future. Here we're going to see the Kyogre against us again. Kyogre was actually quite common today, which is totally okay. As we will see here, we're going to be able to go ahead and go for a Shield. Shield is coming up. That is going to be fine. The Surf is going to now get shielded by the Yveltal. We still should be able to go for an Oblivion Wing against them. And we should be in a position where we're going to be fine here, I think. Oblivion Wing gonna knock them out. They still have the Dialga though. And I make a bit of a mistake here. What I should do is I should mostly stay in for a little bit, overform by a bit, because I know that I can go for one close combat here anyway. I think I even would have been able to survive an Iron Head from this range. But the opponent plays it really, really smart. What they do is they overfarm perfectly, like literally perfectly. And what this allows them to do now is they're going to be able to outspeed me with their Dialga. And that was just a very well played move from the opponent, because in theory I would have been able to outspeed them here. But in practice, because they overformed that much with their Dialga, they were able to win this battle. Well played, like congrats to you. We can move on to the next opponent. We're going to have Dialga against us. That's going to be okay. We're going to have close combat for this Pokemon waiting. That is going to be totally okay for us, because now we are going to be able to just go ahead and go for some nice fast move pressure. We see a shield coming up as well from us. Iron Head is coming up, and we have the Ho-Oh coming in, trying to get the KO against us, but we have the Dark Pulse coming in there as well. So this is looking okay. We will have the shield coming up from the opponent. We decide to no shield this one because they can just go for the charge move. It should be better off like this. And we will see here the Wild Charge connecting. This should be getting the knockout against the Ho-Oh for sure. I don't think... Oh, they actually do use a shield here, which I didn't really expect at all. We can use a shield here now as well. I think that's going to be fine. This is going to be the Sacred Fire. Interesting for sure. And we're going to go for the Dialga swap in here. Yveltal is coming in there. Going to be able to get some extra energy. Can go for the Oblivion Ring. Oblivion Ring should be enough to knock out the opponent's Ho-Oh at this point. The Oblivion Ring gonna get the KO. And in comes Palkia, which is going to be able to go up against our Yveltal. We have to hope that they basically don't overfarm, that they get to 2 moves. If they don't overfarm enough, we should be kind of fine. If they have a move stored here right now, we're gonna struggle, but we have a move still stored on our own Zacian, so I think we should be able to win, but we are not. They actually played it so perfectly, and this is the thing as well. Just well played by the opponent. Like, this is literally it. Like, they played it perfectly for themselves. And that's just like something that I also can have to honor there. Like, well played, and we can move on now to the next opponent. Yveltal against Landorus is going to be an interesting one for sure. We're going to decide to use a shield against this Hansia Storm. Well played against from them. Like, they're all playing really, really well. Always kind of baiting the moves that I didn't really expect there from them. Playing risky, to be fair. It's really just playing risky. But it kind of pays out for them, because now they're going to be able to take that hit, going to be able to survive that and go still for the Stone Edge, which they would have not done otherwise. So, again, well played by them. We will see the Palkia coming in. We can still go for another charge move, which is kind of nice. Don't get me wrong, it's definitely kind of a nice thing to have. Oblivion Ring gonna get them kind of low. But I would have been in such a better spot, of course, if they didn't bait there. But yeah, we're going to get out the Necrozma from the opponent. This is going to be okay. We do some nice damage against them. We are going to use a shield, though. Dark Pulse is coming through, and we are gonna be able to go for another Dark Pulse against the opponent, which is going to get the KO, and in comes the Palkia, and we are gonna be able to go ahead, go for another charge move here. It is going to be the Dark Pulse, get the shield. We try to do as much damage as possible. We can swap out here, and we have a full Zacian. This should be a victory here, right? Like, either we can fully farm them down, or we can go for like enough charge moves. Like, there shouldn't be a way of us losing this battle, correct? Like, they go for a charge move here, we still survive, they have 1 HP left. No way that we're gonna... No, wait, they have another charge move. And I only have 1 HP on my other Pokemon. And yeah, with this, we're going to lose the final battle. Is Hoopa perfectly good in the Go Battle League currently? Absolutely not. It has potential in the future, though. That's gonna be it for this video. I really appreciate if you would leave a like here as well and subscribe if you haven't already. Cost me a lot of Stardust, cost me a lot of candies, and I will see you then. Bye bye.